Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today's story is one of the most explosive political developments in South Africa in recent years. President Cyril Ramaphosa has officially launched a judicial commission of inquiry into one of the darkest and most unresolved chapters of our democratic era, the ANC's alleged interference in justice for apartheid-era atrocities. This isn't just about the past, it's about the integrity of South Africa's post-apartheid project, and whether the ruling party actively worked to suppress justice for victims of apartheid crimes. This new inquiry comes after years of growing pressure from families of apartheid victims, especially those whose loved ones were murdered by the regime and never received closure. In January 2025, a group of 25 families, including relatives of the Cradock Four, filed a civil lawsuit against the South African government. They claim that successive ANC administrations blocked the investigations and prosecutions recommended by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, or TRC, more than 2 decades ago. Now, for those who need a quick recap, the TRC, chaired by the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu in the 1990s, was created to help the country heal from apartheid by exposing the truth about human rights violations and granting amnesty to those who confessed their crimes. But the TRC also made one thing clear: hundreds of apartheid-era cases warranted further investigation and potential prosecution. Those cases were referred to the National Prosecuting Authority. And yet, very few ever saw a courtroom. Families were left waiting. And justice never came. So, why were these cases buried? That's the million-rand question. Over the years, evidence has emerged suggesting that political interference, allegedly from the top tiers of the ANC, may have played a role in ensuring these cases were never pursued. There were whispers of senior politicians lobbying against prosecutions, of files mysteriously disappearing, of prosecutors being sidelined. And now, with President Ramaphosa's announcement, those suspicions are finally getting the attention they deserve. This new commission is being tasked with investigating whether there was deliberate obstruction of justice by ANC officials who were in power after apartheid. In other words, did the ANC betray the very values it fought for by shielding apartheid-era criminals? And if so, why? The families at the center of this case are not just looking for answers, they're demanding accountability. They've asked for our 167 million in damages from the state, saying that the government not only failed to act on the TRC's recommendations, but actively prevented justice from taking its course. They also want those funds to be used to support new investigations and public memorials for their loved ones. But there's a catch. This commission, as powerful as it may sound, is advisory. That means it doesn't have the legal authority to prosecute anyone or deliver verdicts. It can only make recommendations. For many families, this doesn't go far enough. They see it as yet another delay tactic, another way for the ANC to appear responsive without taking real accountability. And that's the uncomfortable truth: this isn't just about individual cases. It's about whether South Africa has ever truly dealt with the crimes of apartheid, or if those crimes were swept under the rug for the sake of political convenience. Some fear that the ANC, once a liberation movement, became part of the machinery that denied justice to victims of the very regime it fought against. Let's not forget, many of the people who led the ANC into power in 1994 are still politically connected today. Some are still in parliament. Others have enjoyed diplomatic postings and powerful positions. If this commission digs deep enough, it may uncover a political cover-up stretching across decades, and that could shake the ANC to its core. President Ramaphosa, to his credit, has shown some willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. But critics say this should have happened years ago. Some argue that he's only acting now because of mounting legal pressure and international scrutiny. And they're not wrong, this case is already drawing the attention of human rights groups around the world. South Africa's failure to prosecute apartheid-era crimes has long been seen as a stain on its human rights record. The Commission's findings, expected later this year, could be a game-changer. If it confirms that political interference took place, it may trigger renewed calls for criminal prosecutions, possibly even against high-ranking ANC veterans. It could also put the ruling party in a serious moral crisis ahead of the upcoming general elections. Meanwhile, opposition parties are already seizing on the moment. The Democratic Alliance, the EFF, and even the emerging MK party have all slammed the ANC for its historical failures and are using this commission to frame the ANC as a party that no longer represents justice, transparency, or accountability. So where does this leave South Africa? At a crossroads, once again. We are a country still haunted by our past, still fighting over whose version of history gets told, and still divided by the scars of apartheid. But we're also a nation that has always fought back, against oppression, against secrecy, and against impunity. This commission, if handled properly, could be a turning point. Not just for the families of the Cradock Four and hundreds of other victims, but for all South Africans who believe in truth and justice. But if it's reduced to just another political performance, it could deepen the public's cynicism and further erode trust in our democratic institutions. The ball is now in the ANC's court. Will they allow this commission to operate independently and transparently? Will they own up to past mistakes and commit to real accountability? Or will they continue to protect the party's image at the expense of justice? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the ghosts of apartheid are not going to disappear until this country confronts them honestly and with courage. Let us know in the comments what you think about this commission. Do you believe the ANC will finally be held accountable for the alleged cover-up of apartheid-era crimes? Or is this just another political smokescreen? Don't forget to like this video if you found it informative, subscribe to the channel for more in-depth political commentary, and share this video with others who care about South Africa's future. See you next time.